Bore da. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to this hybrid meeting of the Planning Committee. This planning meeting is being broadcast live over the internet and will be available to view online now and in the future. Please be aware that this meeting is being transcribed only for the purpose of producing the minutes. This transcript will be deleted once the committee approves the minutes. The transcript should not be downloaded by anyone other than Democratic Services. We welcome the use of the Welsh language at meetings. I have had no requests for people to speak Welsh today, so this meeting will be conducted in English only. Those attending in the chamber, please be aware that we are all on camera and you may be visible on screen when people around you are speaking. And please remember to speak clearly into your microphone. Committee members participating remotely, can you please refrain from using the chat function and instead use the raised hand icon to indicate when you want to speak. And please remember to keep your microphone muted when you are not talking. May I remind members that as per statutory guidance made under Section 4 of the Local Government Wales Measure 2011 and our formally adopted hybrid meeting policy, any member attending a meeting remotely must be able to be seen and heard by the members and officers who are attending the meeting, as well as by members of the public viewing the meeting. So can I ask that you all please use your cameras for the duration of the meeting? Thank you. Move on to the agenda. Agenda item 1. Attendance and apologies. Rachel, do we have any apologies?
Yes, I've received apologies from Councillor Carl Gordon.
Thank you. Agenda item 2. Declarations of interest. Rachel, could you please ask members in alphabetical order to state whether they have any interest to declare?
Yeah, sure. Starting with Councillor Ashley.
Sincerely, not any that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Evans. Councillor Evans. Okay, I'll come back to Councillor Evans. Councillor Haller.
Nothing from me, thanks.
Councillor Dina James.
None from me.
Councillor John James.
Nothing from me.
Councillor Janet Jones.
Yes, as Glenavon were Heritage Champion, the agenda item may conflict on, Glenavon's landscape.
Thank you. Councillor Mark Jones.
None I'm aware of, thanks.
Councillor Parish.
Nothing to declare, thank you.
And Councillor Slade.
Nothing from me, thank you.
I'll just come back and see if Councillor Evans is there. Councillor Evans, are you there? Okay, we'll move on and we can ask him when we know he's back on. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, agenda item 3, minutes of the Planning Committee from the 8th of April 2026. Members, could you possibly state whether you have anything to raise in relation to the minutes? If not, I will take them as approved. Right, I can't see any hands up, so we'll take them as approved. Thank you. Agenda item 4, planning application 25P0464 DNS. To construct and operate a wind farm consisting of a maximum of 8 wind turbines, each with a 3-bladed rotor, with a diameter of up to 150 metres, a hub height of 122 metres, and a maximum height to blade tip of up to 180 metres. DNS 3273368. And it's at Mynydd, Llanhilleth, located southeast of Abertillery and east of Llanhilleth. Can I ask Justin Jones, Team Leader, Planning Applications, to present the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Committee. Can you all hear me online? Yeah.
Yes.
Great, thanks. There isn't a presentation today, because I will just go through the report. As members will note and see, it's seeking authorisation for us to agree and sign a Section 106 in relation to the development of national significance, which is being determined by the Planning Inspectorate. So I think one of the points that members need to just consider is that allowing us to sign the Section 106 doesn't mean that members are given a view of whether they support it or not, because that's a matter for the Planning Inspector. The reason why we have to seek authorisation from committee to sign the Section 106 is because committee aren't making the decision. It's a matter for the inspector. So obviously, under our delegated powers, we need to seek the authorisation from the committee to sign and agree the terms of the Section 106. In terms of the terms, as you'll see, it's set out within the report, and it's an insurance policy that if the developer isn't able to deal with the decommissioning, that will be agreed as part of the condition if the application is approved, that we have the ability to do it ourselves to ensure that we don't end up with rusty turbines on the hillside. So the terms of the Section 106 is that there's a bond that will be agreed, the amount, and obviously that will be reviewed as we go through the process. Obviously, don't forget this comes at the end of the 40-year term of the permission. So obviously it has to be reviewed to make sure it is in line with the costs at those times. You'll note, Chair Committee, that the review periods, as we get closer to decommissioning, those review periods become closer. I think the other point that members will need to consider is that if it is approved, one of the conditions will be the details of approval for the decommissioning. So obviously once we have those, then they've got to be submitted 12 months before the wind farm is decommissioned. So we'll know the details of what at that time is to be delivered. So obviously with that in mind, we can obviously then have those, we know what we're dealing with at that point, because don't forget, this is 40 years and legislation and requirements may change over that time. Obviously, it's got to be a Section 106 rather than a unilateral undertaking, because there are rights that are placed upon us to step in if need be, to make sure that the agreed decommissioning is delivered within the time frame. But there aren't any other questions at this. There's no other points I want to raise at this point, Chair, so I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.
I can't hear you, Chair.
So, no, my mic was not open. Right, thank you, Justin. I can see one hand up. Councillor Stuart Ashley.
Yeah, I've seen some 30-year-old and nearly 40-year-old planning decisions which have caused problems in my ward. This is nothing like it. I only say that to say that I do understand what ancient planning decisions can be look like. The question I wanted to ask, bearing in mind that we have at the moment a partnership agreement with Blaenau Gwent, and this actually sits across our boundaries. The 106 agreement, I've written it down here because it's what immediately came to mind. The pot of money, bond, for this is specific to this site, or is it specific to the common land? And is it a Torvine or a Torvine and Blaenau Gwent pot we're looking at? That's the questions I've got to ask you. because it does raise those questions. I'd be interested to hear what the answer is.
Right, thank you. Justin, could you respond to that, please?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thank you, Councillor Ashley. In the negotiations of this, Blaen y Gwent are aware of the requirements and they are fully on board and have agreed to the terms of the Section 106 as well. I think to add some clarity, Chair, Committee, that our legal services have been negotiating and drafting on behalf of both authorities, so as to make sure that we have a single voice in that, but both Blaen y Gwent Council and us are in agreement over the process. I think, Chair, at this particular point, I'd like to place on record our thanks to our legal colleagues for their hard work and drafting and negotiating on our behalf. It's very much appreciated. So, in terms of a joint approach, we've been working with our colleagues in Blaen y Gwent, so we're clear over that it will be done jointly, and that's what the terms of the Section 106 will do. And obviously, as you've seen, Chair, Committee, how those bonds and how their access is also forming part of Section 106. But again, working with our colleagues in Blaen y Gwent, it is anticipated that there will be a joint approach. And in terms of what it covers, it is with the development within the red line, so it crosses both administrative boundaries.
Well, the other question I wanted to ask was, would this be a pot for just this development and this piece, this particular land, or would it be if we've got, as we seem to have, the other development below the Averdrinus Road as well? Is it for all the commons or just this part of the commons?
It's for the development as within the red line, so it can't be used for any other purposes other than what's within that red line. And obviously, critically, there is a condition that if it is approved, that highlights and will put in detail what that decommissioning will be, that will be expected from the developer. But as I said, if the developer is unable to do it, this insurance policy enables both Blaen y Gwent and Torfaen to be able to undertake the agreed decommissioning. And I think critically, you'll see, Chair, that the other part of the Section 106, which is why it's a two-stage approach, is that we have those step-in rights. And it's critical that we have those step-in rights so that we are able to implement on that land the mitigation, so we don't have to go back to the courts to have those rights. So that's why we're having the process as it is. Ideally, it would be good if everybody could sign up straight away, but because this issue and question rose at the hearing rather than in advance, it's hard for the developer to get everybody to sign up within the time frame to allow the inspector to issue a decision. So that's why we got the initial Section 106, which is obviously the securing of the bond, which is on the main part of the land, and also that legal agreement requires then, before they start any works, that all landowners sign up to allow us to have those step-in rights if we are needed to implement the decommissioning at that stage. As I said, Chair, Committee, there's no indication that the developer isn't going to do the decommissioning, but obviously taking into account the Wellbeing and Future Generations Act and taking into account a long-term view, it was felt by us, Blaen y Gwent, and the inspector, with the agreement of the developer, in fairness, that this bond secures that long-term mitigation without risk to the public purse.
Thank you very much indeed for that. I think I'm clear on that. It sounds like we've got something in the back pocket just in case.
Right, thank you. Councillor Alan Slade, you've got a question?
Thank you, Chair. As far as I understand it, these wind turbines they can't be recycled and will have to go to landfill. Will the bond be sort of index linked to the landfill tax? And my second question is, will the remediation of the site include removing the substantial foundations, concrete foundations that these turbines have?
Thank you. Justin, could you answer that, please?
I think on the first one, in terms of tax and any other frameworks, legal frameworks will obviously be taken at that time. As I said at the beginning, Chair, this is looking to come in at 40 years' time, and obviously the political and regulatory framework may change over that time. So in terms of what that bond will do and what it will secure will be that decommissioning. And obviously, as you said, Councillor Slade, there could be new technologies at that point that can deal with recycling. We don't know, but it will deal with the decommissioning at that point. In terms of the technical decommissioning, in terms of the removal of the foundations, again, at the moment, those details aren't before us. They will be forming part of their approval of the condition on decommissioning that will have to be approved 12 months before they do decommissioning. At this moment in time, what they submitted to the inspector to consider, which is that the foundations, they will just take the first 1 metre away, and then the rest would be left. But as I said, there is a condition that, if approved, will look at that in more detail as and when at that time, and it before our successors to consider if that decommissioning is appropriate. But I think critically, Chair, whatever is agreed and approved through that condition when it is discharged will form part of that decommissioning. And obviously, in terms of the review of the bond, it will be based upon, at that point, what has been agreed. So obviously there will be the uplift.
Thank you. Right, I don't see any other hands up. Rachel, is there anyone in the chamber wanting to ask a question?
No, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Ashley, you want to?
If there's nobody asking any more questions, I'd like to go to proposal stage, if I may.
Yes, you can.
I'd like to pose it.
Is there a seconder? Yes, we got a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Horler. Right. Rachel, could you please ask members in alphabetical order to state whether they are for, against or are abstaining? Can I just say that Councillor Evans has come now, Rachel?
Okay, Councillor Evans, you were absent for the declarations of interest, so can you confirm whether you have any or not, please?
No, that's
Okay, thanks. Okay, going to the vote then. If I start with Councillor Ashley.
For.
Councillor Evans.
for.
Councillor Horler.
For.
Councillor Gaynor James.
For.
Councillor John James.
For.
Councillor Janet Jones.
For.
Councillor Mark Jones.
Against.
Councillor Parish.
For.
And Councillor Slade.
For.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, I get it as 8 for and 1 against. So the recommendation has been approved. Thank you. Thank you everyone for your attendance and contributions. We've had a very short meeting today, but I will now close the meeting.